Okay, so here's the deal. We started heading out to Mom and Dad's and had to come in the back way because we could not, when we went up to the front way later to see the lake, could not see the lake anymore. So we drove down twice to the bottom and back up to the top and turned the car around on the other side of the top of the hill coming in from Calcutta. And I said, it's got to be there. I'm just missing it. I have bad vision or something. No good find. So anyhow, we drove around. I told you the story about who's living in George's, here in Gracie's. Of course, Frank Pierre Felice probably left a long time ago. I wouldn't know who that is. And I never knew his wife that well, and I don't think Mom and Dad knew his wife that well. And I told Cam a lot about life in that area and what it was like. And he asked how often I came up, and I said, we came up almost as often as every other weekend when I lived in Kalamazoo. It was, I don't know whether you remember that, it was out at 3 o'clock out of Upjohn, or 2 o'clock, I think it was Friday. And we were hitting the road, the trailer was already fixed up, and we headed up there. No, I'm mixing stories. If we were going trailering, we headed up there. If we were going up to Mom and Dad's, we were already back in the Scout. So then we had another beer at the town bar. So I'd had 2 beers, which was enough for the day. That based on the presumption that I could pass off that I'm doing this because I left all these Vicodin pills at home. So I hadn't taken any Vicodin all day, and I was kind of hurting enough to have a beer. Now, of course, Cammy doesn't drink beer. He doesn't drink at all, but he'll drink beer once in a while, but he never drinks when he drives. So that was a second reason I could drink. So we had a beer there, and I talked a little about the Golden Nugget, which is still there. Showed him where Shook's Market used to be, where the prescription drug used to be, where the Farm and Fleet used to be. And it is whittled down to nothing but the bar, basically, in the county courthouse. The post office, of course, there is closed now. It was only open 2 or 3 days. I think it's closed now. From what we could determine, it didn't look like there was one. So we headed into Charlevoix, and there was the usual mingling crowd of thousands of fat people from Detroit trying to pass off that they were in good shape and they were coming up there to be with all the young people that are. And he just decided to get out of the mess after going through town. And I said, there's a restaurant if we want to get something to eat, but I think it's closed, which it was. Rosie's or something on the back street. I don't know whether you remember that. So we went back there and we parked the car, and there was an area I never knew that if you walk down about 20 or 30 yards, there's a little kind of like a park area as big as your front room that has a stone slide that you can sit on. He saw it and said, here's a place where we could go down and sit on the bench. Problem is I started out for it and could not walk that far. So he says, we got the wheelchair in the car. Why don't we just get the wheelchair out? I'll push you down there. I said, if you get the wheelchair out, I can roll down, the little grade. So we did. We sat there, and it's right across from the weather vane. So we watched the drawbridge. If the highway 31 were here and the weather vane were right here, the park would be right where my thumb is. So we could watch the drawbridge go up. And I finally sat over there and took some pictures of him. And then he wanted to take a couple pictures of me. I said, okay, you can take 2, that's enough. He says, I want you, like I see you, I want you there with your cane, holding your cane, sitting there and smiling and stuff like this. And I said, okay, we'll try to pull this one off. And we did. And it was a lot of fun. And then we decided it was getting really late and he's very tired from driving for days and days. So we better come home. End of day.